How's it going, folks? So, about to do another weekly manga review of Bleach manga chapter 683. Now, in this chapter, a couple of things. Number one, obviously the hype of Aizen versus Yhwach, but there's more to it than that. I actually took some time to take some notes and label the main things in this chapter. So, first off, let's right out the bat. The main question is, when did he activate his Sapacto? When did Aizen activate it? Was it in the previous chapter or was it in this chapter? Because number one, I'm pretty sure that when he was fighting with Ichigo not too long ago, Aizen actually fused with Kyoku Suigetsu, and his Sanpakto. So it was strange how Yhwach thought that Aizen's sword Zanpakuto actually started to crack and break. That being said, there's a couple of other things to take into consideration as well. Number one, the beginning part of this chapter was by the way, this chapter is relatively simple, to the point where it's just focuses on mainly Aizen putting in the work, but at the beginning of the portion of this chapter, things look well in hand for Yhwach, where he completely decimated Aizen, Renji, and Ichigo. Or so we thought, but that's the way the chapter started. Now, we did see Aizen use Hado 99 Igoryu Tenamatsui, I believe, which was beastly, don't get me wrong. However, it did do nothing compared to. I mean, it is impressive, but it did nothing in comparison to Yhwach. And then even that decimators against Seven flowing back. But again, you gotta, and this is why I got a funny feeling. Aizen activated the Kyoku Suigetsu in the previous chapter, because if you notice at the end of the chapter where we see the illusion on Yhwach from Aizen, even though I've got a feeling, obviously Aizen, Yhwach's not done yet, no way. But if you go back and look at Ichigo's sword, when he stabs Yhwach, right, in the previous chapter, that top part of the sword, and even at the beginning of this chapter, was cracked, right? At the end of this chapter, there isn't a crack on it, especially when he unleashes gets to Tensho, and I know that's frustrating but let's face facts. Ichigo's not going to do anything much else than that, especially with the end rapidly approaching. Now, I do want to mention a couple of things, even though most of this part was an illusion on Aizen's part. There are some things that I thought were very interesting. Number one, where we saw how Ichigo, well, I should say Aizen played Yhwach to the point where Ichigo came in and dealt the blow, but we also saw in Yhwach's illusion that Renji got his Bankai decimated for the second time as well, and he lost an arm. However, that was an illusion, yes, but I said this during the live reaction. I gotta wonder why we saw Ichigo and Aizen. Okay, they weren't completely fine because Aizen was stabbed, but the way it looked like Ichigo was in the place of Aizen because the effects of Kyoku Suigetsu, and Yhwach was fooled at that point. But we didn't get to see Renji, and after last week's chapter and how the conversation he had with Ichigo, to the point where everybody thought that was going to be a death flag, and it could be. Let's not forget, Renji is supposed to be on the cover of volume 74, which is supposed to be the final volume. So, and there's also speculation that he could end up dying by the end of the series. So, I mean, you gotta wonder if there was anything to that. But again, nothing too important. But I'm just gonna throw that out there as well. But obviously, the main hype of this chapter, and the main part of this chapter, was Aizen versus Yhwach for the most part. Again, cool seeing Hado 99, the dragon being unleashed on Yhwach. It didn't do much, but it was cool to see. Aizen put in the work, and yes, you can say at this point, round one goes to Aizen. However, we know full well Yhwach can see into the future. Now, this is the thing. If he can see into the future, that's one thing. But if he can see into the future but not tell if it's an illusion or not, that could be a difference maker. Because that's where you got to draw the line. Can he see the future? Or he can ultimately know what's going to happen in the future, but that doesn't necessarily mean he can see an illusion in the future. So I kind of found that strange as well. But yeah, it looks kind of supplementary because when he activates the Zanpakuto, it looks like Aizen takes the place of where Ichigo got. Ichigo in Yhwach's illusion got messed up to the point where he got a hole in his blown through his stomach, which we've seen this before with Ukiura, but we know that was Aizen, and in comes Ichigo from behind with the Bankai, look completely untouched. Like I said, it looks like the effects of Kyugetsu was unleashed last chapter. That's what it looks like. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. And if that's the case, two things: either Yhwach didn't know what was going to happen, or he knew what was going to happen and he allowed that to happen. Because you got to remember, even though he can see he can technically see the future, he can also prepare for it as well. So, and we know how Yhwach is like when he likes to string people along. And another reason why he's technically not out of the woods yet, Uryu's got to come in at some point with the silver arrow. And I'm not saying I said last week I was kind of joking how that might not take out Yhwach, but it may have something to do with Yhwach's defeat, because now, even though it's technically looking like Yhwach's he's gonna ultimately unleash his trump card, despite what happened in this chapter, and then that's when Yu's gonna pop in, maybe. But again, that's what it looks like. I mean, it's a great chapter, don't get me wrong. Aizen putting in the work is great. I guess you can say round one goes to Bakura, but as we know, in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Marek ended up winning that duel. Again, it's just reference speaking. You can say Marek is Yhwach and Bakura is Aizen, but at this point, we know Yhwach's got something else up his sleeve. So what that is, we'll find out probably in the next chapter. Again, after everything we've seen from Yhwach so far, I don't think he's done. Obviously not, and he may have a backup plan in mind. He may have even had a countermeasure the moment Aizen activated Kyoko Suigetsu. But what do you think, guys? Do you think Yhwach has something up his sleeve? And if he does, what does he have up his sleeve? Because, like I said, it's one thing to see the future, but if you can't tell a difference between illusion or reality, then you got to kind of question that. And maybe that's how, because he also can't. You can know what happens in the future, but you can't. Again, we saw that with Shukishima, how he's able to rewrite the past and allow Orihime to fix Ichigo's Bankai. But it looked like Aizen, at least for now, has played Yhwach, which is very rare. So let me know what you guys think down below. Yhwach's obviously not finished, but what do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. That's going to do this for review. Like it if you did, appreciate that. Comment, rate, subscribe. Catch you guys for more.